All right, guys, we got our first super chat.
Joseph,
let's go.
Joseph Morris.
I'll take
Thank
that.
you.
All right, Joseph Morris.
Corey, he's got one for you.
I'll take that one. Joseph, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but don't think so. I don't think so because it's up to 6 months. Her surgery is not scheduled yet, so I don't think that she can return in time for Survivor Series in San Diego. Would it be cool to see her in Survivor Series? Absolutely, but I don't think right now that would be smart, especially when she's had shoulder problems before. I don't think coming back at a Survivor Series in 5 months would be smart. But
that'd be a real.
But hey, Liv Morgan's going to be rehabbing multiple times a day. I know she's going to want to get back as quick as possible. So who knows? But if you're asking about as of right now, no.
It depends on when the surgery's scheduled and when it actually happens, and then just how well her rehab goes too. But looking at the timeline, it's probably not a possibility. That would be super rushed.
I have a question regarding the injury because originally it was and you could see she dislocated her shoulder or whatever. So was it originally that they thought it just was just a normal shoulder dislocation or whatever, or did it rip when it dislocated?
What they initially thought, Wrestle Votes talked about it today on their show. What they initially thought was it was just something they could pop back into place. They thought it was just dislocated. They could pop it back into place. She could be out a few months. But when she underwent testing, she underwent X-rays and MRI. They saw that she had tears in her shoulder. So she's undergoing surgery for it. Like I said, the surgery has not been scheduled for her yet because it is still fresh from Monday. But yes, that's what they thought. They were optimistic that it was just a regular dislocation and she'd be out the timeline of 12 weeks. But the MRI revealed that there was more damage than initially anticipated, and it's supposed to be a 6-month recovery window now. And the key is up to 6 months though, because she could be in Liv Morgan. She could come back before it, but 6 months is where they're putting the target at. So that would put you closer to Christmas.
From surgery.
Yeah. So whenever her surgery is, I think Royal Rumble would be smart if they wanted to get the big pop, even though the Rumble is going to be overseas. She'll still get a major pop for coming back after everything. If I was WWE, I would try to bring her back into the fold somehow on television during this time period because she's a major draw. As you can see, she was in 3 separate storylines on Monday Night Raw, and now everything is going to shit because she is no longer there. So now they're having to go back from scratch to figure out what they're doing for Evolution now, because she was going to have – initially it was going to be a singles match with Liv Morgan versus Nikki Bella. WWE started having discussions with Brie Bella. It looked like the Bella Twins were going to get involved and have a tag team match. Then now, because of the injury, don't know what's happening there. The tag team championships are in limbo right now. Don't know what's happening with those because everything literally is changing. She was going to have a championship match with Io Sky. That was supposed to be happening in the next few weeks. She was going to have a championship match against Io Sky because Io told her you need to earn it. So she was going to earn her way back to the championship. She wasn't going to win the championship, but she was going to earn her way back to the championship title scene, which a lot of people have wanted. They've wanted Liv Morgan back in the title scene as a main eventer. Even not being in the title, she's a main eventer. And then, of course, you have the Judgment Day stuff now with Roxanne Perez being involved with Finn Balor and that stuff going on there. Now, the direction of that is where do they go now without Liv Morgan on television? Who knows the exact direction that they are going to go due to the fact that she's not going to be on TV for this amount of time now. So it's going to be interesting to see what Paul Levesque and the creative team come up with for the creative plans that were initially penciled in for Liv Morgan. Just like they did with CM Punk, I think that they're going to do a good job with it. But it sucks. The timing sucks for her because it was going to be the summer of Morgan again. So the timing really, really sucks for her. Freak accident, nobody to blame for it. All the stuff that I'm seeing on social media, blaming people. It's a combat sport. It's professional wrestling. There's no need to blame people. It happens, accidents happen, and unfortunately, she's going to be out now for quite a while.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody when it happened, like, they're like, oh, it's just dislocated. I was like, you never know until you get in there, because I've dislocated my shoulder so many times. I have shoulder problems. I've torn everything in my shoulder. Didn't know it.
Yeah, I think people get so used to
never
those
really
stories.
know.
Yeah, people get so used to the stories of like people popping their shoulder back into place, like you forget that there's other stuff like connected to it. So plus like the angle she fell, like you could tell that it was like different than just like an awkward thing.
The way she put her hands out, you could tell it was bad.
Yeah, just the angle of it was like, ooh, it looked rough.
Yeah, when they somebody put together a slow motion video of it, and you could see,
it was bad.
You could see it was very, very bad. And
I watched it twice and said never again.
It sucks. The timing really, really sucks for her, because she was set for a major, major push in the summer with these stories, and now it sucks to see, because I said it a little bit ago on Twitter in response to a post. She's not only one of the top women talents, but WWE views her as one of their actual, between the men and the women, a top talent in the company. Very marketable. So it just sucks. It sucks not only for her, it sucks for the company, but she'll come out of it stronger than ever, and come back just like she was.
Yeah. My thing is, though, is every time we see two women win the tag titles, it's the same story when someone
injuries.
Yeah. The same type of story. And it's like when they're in their top moments, like whoever's the tag title, it's when they're in their top stars. They're out there, they're doing their thing, and then boom, here we go again. Like, look what happened when Bianca was tag team title. She lost, so
Bianca, Jade, it's like the titles. The titles they're cursed at this point, and I've seen a lot of people say they don't want them. They don't want them anymore. They want them to get rid of them. But at the same time, it's like, they're now putting together Natalya with Maxine Dupree on Raw, so they're trying to put the tag team division together again. But now, how do you do that with all this stuff going on? Because you also have B-Fab and Michin on SmackDown. You've got these NXT tag teams now that they're building too. So it's like, what are they going to do with the tag team titles when it's all said and done?
And then now I feel like we're going to see, okay, well, Roxanne's going to replace Liv for the tag titles as a temporary.
More than likely, I think that's what they're going to do. I think Finn Balor is going to end up stepping in storyline wise and saying that now that Liv is out, she suffered an injury, Roxanne can step right into her place, which a lot of people have said.
Freebird rule, man. Come on.
But she's not technically in the Judgment Day, so we can't really say the Freebird rule. She's just an outsider trying to get in with them. So
I have a question.
She could be part of the Bullet Club, and we just don't know.
Yeah, that's true. A question about that, because when they re-debuted her on the roster with Julia, they were like that tag team. And then like the beginning of Raw started with them talking about how they were going to be a force to reckon with or whatever. And then by the end they had broken up, and now they're just kind of like putting her back into potentially like into a tag team again. So do you have any insight on like what the deal was with that? Because I've never seen it like the beginning of an episode to the end of an episode with no story reason as to why.
With her and Julia, they were supposed to get a little bit of a run as a tag team on Monday Night Raw to get exposure for the women like that. They were supposed to get more exposure on the main roster that way. That's why they brought them up together. They brought them up together so they could get that kind of exposure together. But the end game was ultimately for Julia to break off. As you can see, that she has a major backing. She's got some people in the company that really, really want her to be near the top of the card. So that's why they split them. They also didn't want Julia and Stephanie Vaquer to be on the same brand, because they knew Stephanie was going to Monday Night Raw. They knew Stephanie was going there. And it's the same thing that happened in NXT. When they brought them together, they debuted them. They brought them in at the same time. It overshadowed each other. The star power was too much for them. But at the same time, I felt like having Roxanne and Julia, a team that you didn't think you would see together, it worked. It worked. Their styles worked together. But then you saw when Roxanne and Liv were in the four-way match together. The four-way match together, they were teaming up for a bit in it, and it seemed like they were a natural fit together. So it's like there's a lot of weird things when it comes to the women's division booking. There's so much talent that is underutilized. I don't like the makeshift tag teams that they're putting together. I like when they have a story to come into being a tag team. Like Natalya and Maxine Dupree now have a story where Natalya believes in Maxine Dupree, and that's how they became a tag team. B-Fab and Meechin were going after the Women's United States Championship for a while, and they came together as a force to go against the Secret Harvest. So that part I understand. It all depends. The scene is up in flames right now. I want to see a healthy tag team division, but at the same time, I really don't know what they're going to do with it now. This question from Joseph: when do you see Liv having her surgery? Well, that's a tough question to answer because Kevin Owens still has not had surgery for his injury yet, and he's been injured for a few months now when they found out that he needed to have surgery. So it's tough. It all depends on scheduling with the doctors and how fast they want to get it done, the damage. It all depends. You could have swelling, so it just depends on when all of that stuff gets determined.
Hopefully soon. I'm sure they want.
I think it'll be soon. I think it'll be probably within the next week or so. I think they'll probably schedule her surgery after Monday Night Raw.
Shoulder surgery is different than neck surgery. You know what I mean?
Like, but I think her
thing.
I think her surgery will probably be when they get to explain what's going on with her. I think they'll probably schedule her surgery then. That way you have the leeway now that you understand what's going on with Liv Morgan, and she's going to be gone for a while. Because people were questioning yesterday. They're like, I'm going to wait to see how long it's going to take for WWE or Liv to talk about it. They're not going to provide an update like that. WWE does not provide injury updates like that fairly anymore. They used to back in the day. They give rough timelines, but they won't give you an exact update on what's going on with the talent. And when it comes to Liv will probably update people, but she is all about kayfabe. So Liv, we probably won't see much of her on social media either. They'll probably give a brief timeline on Monday Night Raw this week. We'll see. Maybe even SmackDown if they want to get her, because she got pulled from Fanatics Fest. So obviously, they don't want her traveling. They don't want her traveling for this injury. They're probably wanting to get it done as soon as possible. Like you said, Cassidy, get the surgery done as soon as possible. So it's tricky. It's very tricky. Injuries are always tricky, no matter what kind of injury you have. The timelines are tricky. Getting everything scheduled through the company and whatnot is tricky. But yeah, I think the surgery for her, because the timeline now is 6 months with it, that she needs it. I think they want to get it done as soon as possible. And I think because of her getting pulled from Fanatics Fest this weekend, I think it is within the next week that she'll probably end up undergoing shoulder surgery.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.